Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the little live training I'm doing today with Jenny Melrose from the Melrose family. I'm just going to make sure everything is working correctly here, and then we'll get started straight away. So we're talking today. Yes, okay, everything's working. So let me quickly turn this around and introduce you to Jenny. I'm double live streaming, once into the Facebook group and then here on Instagram. So welcome, Jenny. So great to do this little training with you today. Can you hear us?
I can. I absolutely can. Thank you so much for having me, Carla. I'm so excited to talk to you, all of your audience.
Perfect. Yeah, me too. So just to give a little introduction, Jenny used to be a full-time teacher and had a blog which is called the Melrose Family. And within a few short years, she basically quit her job as a teacher and replaced her full-time income by working with brands, and actually has managed to grow her income into a six-figure income just by working with brands and getting sponsored posts, which is absolutely amazing. So Jenny is definitely the influencer queen, and I'm super excited to hear what you're sharing today. So do you maybe want to just say hello?
Absolutely.
Fill in any gaps.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. Like Carla said, I have a lifestyle site. I still have that lifestyle site, and it has been up and running for 7 years. And because of the lifestyle site, I'm also all over social media, from Instagram to Facebook to Twitter, and very much involved in how it all works. And because of that, my influence has grown and brands are willing to pay for that. And I am to the point where I was getting a ton of questions from people about, how are you doing this? Why are you, how can I do this? So I decided that it was time to go back to my teacher roots and be able to share that with bloggers and influencers so that they also can make that full-time income.
Yeah, which is awesome. I have taken your course and I absolutely loved it and have learned so much from it. So let's get into the training.
Absolutely.
And the first question I have is, a lot of bloggers start out with affiliates or ads on their blog. Why did you choose sponsored posts?
So for the bloggers that are part of your group, a lot of it is all dependent upon page views as far as your ad income or your affiliate income. And if you're not getting the page views and you're not getting the eyes on it, it makes it difficult. And with algorithm changes, it can become a huge issue as far as getting page views and people to click through. It's the same thing with Instagram, where you share something for an affiliate and you say swipe up. With the way that the algorithm changes, it can definitely affect that. But with sponsored posts, you can tell an authentic story and get paid what your numbers and your value and your influence is worth. And they don't necessarily just focus on those numbers either. They more focus on, what is your expertise, what makes you unique, what makes you different.
Right. And so in terms of like, what makes brands attracted to you? How do you stand out?
Well, for anyone, it really comes down to what sets you apart. What makes you you? What makes you unique? And I always tell people, go back, look at what it is that gives you your voice. Is it your expertise? Is it your education? Is it just your experiences daily? So for example, I have one of my students is a mom that homeschools 8 children. Wow. And that to me makes her very unique. And in the beginning, when she was writing her initial pitch and she was reaching out to brands that were family friendly, she wasn't telling them that she homeschooled 8 kids. And I looked at her and I'm like, we're missing this. This is the biggest piece that's going to make you so different than anyone else. And it's the same thing for other people. Like, have you traveled a ton? Where have you traveled? It all depends upon, obviously, the brand. You make it specific to the brand and what their overall mission is. But at the same time, you can talk about, I've lived in this country, or I've traveled here, or I've done this. And you're just able to incorporate that into your initial pitch and make you stand out to that brand.
Yeah. So how do you attract brands then? How do you do it?
It starts off with an initial pitch, sending that email, knowing who to send the email to, because that can be a huge issue for people. And just knowing what to say when you do, having a pitch together where you can sound like you know your audience, you know that that brand is a perfect fit for that audience because you've done your research. And I often will tell people, like, take 5 to 10 minutes, check their website, look at their social media channels. What are they promoting? What are they talking about? Because if you can then say to the brand, this is why my audience is a perfect fit, and it applies to their mission statement or to a product that they are now currently promoting, you are going to have set yourself apart because you've done your research. They can tell you're invested. And it has to be something that's authentic. You can't randomly start reaching out to brands if you don't know their story, if it's not something that you use. So I always tell people, start with what you know, use, and love. And because it's just going to come natural when you go to tell your story.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that also is an easy way to kind of start thinking, who can I actually approach, just by looking at in your closet or
yes,
what brands do you use. So let's talk a little bit about being too small, because I know obviously as new bloggers, you might not have that many page views yet. And on Instagram, if your following isn't, too big, like, what's your kind of take on that? Is
absolutely
there too small?
So I always tell people that if you can tell me who your audience is, you can tell me what age range they are, maybe where they live, what it is that they are reacting and engaging to from your content, whether it's your blog or even your Instagram account. If you can tell me those things, then you're ready to reach out to a brand. As long as it's not your mom, your sister, and your best friend, then yes, you are ready, because it's all about knowing your audience. If you know it, people will say to me, well, I have this one has a huge following on Instagram, but are they getting the engagement? Is it authentic? You can have a huge Instagram or even Facebook account and people don't care what you have to say because they're not engaging with it. But if you have an engaged audience, your smaller numbers are more important to that brand because you have engagement. You have people talking to you. You know what they are looking for.
And brands also know to look at the engagement rate versus just the following, right? So
yes,
it definitely makes sense to focus on your engagement.
Absolutely.
So one more question, which I also get asked a lot about, is basically getting paid in products versus getting paid in like money.
Yes.
Where do you stand?
So this is definitely, I feel like, a hot button topic. And some people may not like me with my answer, but I feel that we are all on a very different journey. Some people, if that product is something that they would have paid for and it is money that they are saving, so keeping in their pocket because they're getting the product for free, then I feel it's worth it to do it. If it's a product that you would ordinarily purchase, then yes, that is worth it. Plus, it also gives you the opportunity to turn around and show them what you are worth. You can deliver on that post, whether it's Instagram or if you're talking a blog, so that you are able to turn around and say to them, listen, this is the engagement that I got on this. Now let's talk long-term, because that honestly is what this is about. I have been able to make 6 figures because everything for me is a long-term contract at this point. And it didn't start that way. They started off as one and dones where I was just working through networks, or I would work with a brand and I wouldn't follow up afterwards. And that's what they need. They need the follow-up to be able to say, this is what I was able to deliver for you. Let's talk about long-term, because you can see they want those relationships with influencers. They want a relationship where they feel like your audience knows them and wants that product. So they want those kind of relationships. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's really smart. It's all about the follow-up.
Yes, it totally is.
And I'm really excited to, and I have announced this already, but I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about your upcoming 5-day live event, which is the Pitch Perfect Live. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about it?
I would love to. So this is one of the things, it gets me so excited because I get to go back to my teacher roots. I'm very much a teacher. So I teach, you have to do this before you can move on to step 2, and then step 3. And I walk you straight through it. The Pitch Perfect Live training is a 5-day free training where I'm actually going to walk you through who to reach out to and what to say when you do. So like you said about reaching out to brands that you use by looking in your closet, I do an activity where you actually walk through and figure out what are the brands that make sense for you because they're authentic. And then how do you find that email? Because that honestly is what holds up most people. They have no idea who they should be reaching out to and how to do it. I teach you this in this live training. The way the training works is it's actually officially kicks off Monday, but Sunday afternoon, everybody gets a pre-recorded mini lesson where I'm going to start to teach them about creating their elevator pitch. And then the following day, I do a live Facebook Live. I come in and answer any questions and make sure that I give examples. I'm very much, again, that teacher that loves to give examples. So everything is very specific. I know I've had a ton of your audience already come in because there's a lot of vegan food bloggers that have come in. And I said, as soon as I see they tell me they're vegan, I'm like, yep, that's Carla. So I appreciate you so much. And I'm so excited to have so many great people in as part of that community, because what we've done is we set up an exclusive Facebook community so that everybody can interact. And right now we have people signing up and getting with an accountability partner, because if you can have someone that's holding you accountable, you're more likely to see better results. So because of that, we have that thread actually working right now, and everything will kick off Sunday with that first email, and then live trainings start the rest of the week.
Awesome. And I'm going to quickly turn this around to be talking to people on Instagram here. And I have taken some of your free trainings before, and they are so full of value, and you will learn so much in those 5 days. I definitely highly, highly recommend, if this is something you're interested in, if you want to start working with brands and actually get paid, whether it's in product or in payment, definitely I would highly recommend you to join. So you can either on Facebook, sign up through the link in my bio. So it's the first link that appears in my link tree. And on Facebook, the link is actually in the
description for the video. Yep.
Great. Well, that's all my questions today.
That's
Jenny,
perfect. If anybody comes back into the group and they're watching the replay, feel free to tag me, because I am part of Carla's group, so that if you do have questions, I'm happy to come back in afterwards and answer those.
Awesome.
Thank you
so much. Let me just see if there's any questions here right now, but I think we're good. Yeah, so if there's any questions coming up, then I'll get you to, reply in there. And then I'm super excited for the challenge. I'll also be joining and can't wait to learn more from you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Carla, for taking the time to let me come into the group.
Have a great day.
You too.
Oops. Okay.